House of Underdog talk, man. House of Underdog pie, man. We back with another one. You know, we jumping straight in. We ain't trying to stick our toes in to see if the water cold or not. Jumping in with that NBA playoff talk, man. Fight nights and playoff sports, man. Playoffs and fight nights, man. And just gonna be touching on a couple teams. They game one performance, couple games, right? I'm gonna start off with that Lakers versus Rockets. Obviously, KD was a late game scratch. Which I thought was very, very, very puzzling. Very puzzling. Not gonna lie. Very puzzling. But the show must go on, right? You know what I'm saying? Rockets still capable. Obviously, Lakers are without AR and Luka. Yeah, they still got King James. Like I said, no KD. And, man, for the Rockets, bro, that half-court offense looks sloppy. You know what I'm saying? That half-court offense looks sloppy. They just need KD back, bro, honestly. If KD can come back, he can patch that offense up. There's no KD, bro. I love the Lakers. Because Lakers too much of a great team defense. You know what I'm saying? JJ Redick is a hell of a defensive coach, honestly, bro. That's all I really got to say about Houston. They need KD back because that half-court offense looks sloppy. Simple as that. But what I can say, Lakers win that game because of Luke Kennard. You know what I'm saying? Because Luke Kennard went on the heater. But from the outside looking in, this is by no means no disrespect. We can't let, if you're Houston, we can't let Luke be comfortable handling the ball. Then for sure you get him in his rhythm. Because for one, he's a shooter. For two, him bringing up the ball and handling the ball and initiating the offense is new, right? So it's like, how can y'all make him uncomfortable? You know what I'm saying? Can Luke Kennard do this again? Yes. He got to show me, though. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Houston can do a better job of making Luke uncomfortable with his ball handling. You know what I'm saying? Forcing him to really be a ball handler. You know what I mean? It's playoff basketball. So, you know, just forcing that physicality more, meeting them 94 feet. You know what I'm saying? Really testing that bag work, handle work. But Brian, you know, 19 points, 13 assists, 8 rebounds. 9 for 15. Very efficient. I think it was a hell of a team game. The starting five all had 10-plus points. The lowest was 14, Rui Hachimura. Highest was Luke Kennard. Marcus Smart had 15. DeAndre Ayton had 19. Like I said, Rui Hachimura had 14. Brian had 19. So a great collective team game. Vando played 18 minutes, but had 5 fouls. You know what I'm saying? Very, very much suitable for playoff basketball. Even though I thought he should have played way more in the regular season, just so he can get more reps up on that 3-ball, because they're gonna need him to hit that corner 3 in these playoffs. Jake played 18 minutes. Still, you know, I thought Jake was gonna be more offensively of a weapon. But he still plays his role. You know, he still is a two-way. And, Jackson Hayes made his imprint on the game. Bronny had a short spurt, 4 minutes. You know, I think he'll just continue to grow. Obviously, the game plan worked. But hell of a defensive game plan by JJ Redick. Hell of a defensive game plan. Man, just keep rocking with me, because, like, soon, like, how I just said, hell of a defensive game plan, I'm going to show the clip, pull it up, boom. You know what I mean? I'm still rock out with me, man. Rock out with the boy. But, yeah, if Houston can be better in the half court, or if they can get KD back and you know, make Luke Kennard uncomfortable with his handle, they should have a chance. Lakers speaking without Luka and AR still. Obviously you rock out. You lean on your defense for one. You leaning on your defensive schemes to make it sloppy in the half court with or without KD. So the defense is gonna win you games. On offense, you're just gonna need a guy that, if it can be a team game again, you can have a great chance. Where the team is, like I said, star 5, 10 plus points. Brian down there triple double. You know what I'm saying? You got a great chance. You're gonna definitely need. If Luke Kennard can be consistent like this, shit, hell yeah. I just don't know if he can be consistent like that. But we gonna see. This is a toss-up series. This is far from over. This is far from over because, yeah, KD's not gonna be out for the whole series. So this is a long series. That's all I can say. 76ers in Boston. Obviously, no Embiid. Speaking on Boston the favorite out of the East. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. You know, JB 26, 11 for 21, and out of those 21 attempts, he had 11 makes. He could have easily went 15 for 21. You know what I'm saying? A lot of great misses, a lot of great looks that went in, out, rolled out. So, good way of getting to his spots, being real efficient. Tatum, damn near tripped up, 25, 11, and 7. 9 for 17, 1 for 7 for 3. He's still getting his rhythm intact. So, I'm not really worried about Boston. Derrick White's going to play his role, 10.6 assists. I'm not worried about Boston too much as of right now. Philly, Tyrese Maxey, 21 points, 8 for 20, 8 assists. Paul George, 17 points, 4 for 8 from the field. I think he had 8 free throw attempts. VJ, 13 points, 6 for 16, 0 for 5 from 3. 3 and 3. First playoff game. And I think Tyrese Maxey can a couple more times. He can get downhill and in that paint on Boston. I just think he got to be willing to make that extra pass sometimes, more times than not. And even if that's a hockey assist, just making that extra pass because, just seeing a couple possessions where it's 4, 5 straight, I ain't gonna reach like that. Definitely 3, 4 possessions straight. It's just straight Maxey. Nobody else kind of touching it, and he's getting to the paint. But I just feel like, okay, now I want more of that because they gonna collapse. They gonna help. And he definitely started doing it. I just think he can do it more oftentimes than not. Because they gonna need it, especially with our big fella. I think PG played good today. Could definitely be even more assertive. He was definitely making the right play. He had a couple turnovers, but I think he had 2 turnovers, but that was first half. But he was definitely making the right play. They're going to need it all. They're going to need a good game from Quentin Grimes for sure. They're going to need a better game from VJ. They're going to need a better, efficient, game from Maxey. They're going to need PG to be more assertive. They're going to need, Andre Drummond to play a better game, be more cool, calm, and collected. Don't get into it with the refs. You know what I mean? Don't get frustrated by certain calls. I think Philly do still have a chance. Boston's still the favorite for this series, though. It's definitely still got a chance, though. You know what I Philly. Fuck with Boston. Thunder, I ain't gonna lie, they can wrap it up 4-0. Not even gonna cap. 4-0. For sure. But Magic Pistons. Shout out Detroit. Shout out to O. I've been saying I don't think Detroit is, I think they're a fluke. You know what I mean? No disrespect. I just think if you X out K, they're living with anybody else beating them. They're living with Tobias Harris beating them. They're living with Jalen Duren beating them. They're living with Thompson beating them. They're living with Duncan Robinson beating them because he's going to have to put it on the floor. And they're definitely living with that because they can make him uncomfortable with the handle. So, Orlando won game 1. Orlando just has more weapons offensively. You know what I'm saying? Paolo, 23, 8 for 15, 2 for 4 from 3, 9 boards, 4 assists, big body. You know what I'm saying? Franz Wagner, 19, 7 for 13 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Wendell Carter had 17, 7 and 5, 8 from 9 from the field, 1 for 2 for 3. You know what I mean? Desmond Bane had 17. Wasn't the best shooting night, 7 for 21 for 8 from 3, but he also had 6 boards, 5 assists. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Suggs had 16. Wasn't the best shooting night, 6 for 16, 3 for 10, but 4 and 4. You know what I mean? So then you got Anthony Black. You know, stats ain't gonna always speak his volume. You know what I mean? He's in that potential-wise in that boat with Derek White, ceiling-wise. And Detroit, yeah, K had 39, yes, but K not gonna be able to beat them by himself. You know what I mean? Tobias Harris, 17 points, 5 for 15 from the field, 1 for 7. They're living with that. No disrespect to Tobias Harris. Duncan Robinson, 9 points, 3 for 8, 3 for 6 from the 3. They're living. Jalen Duren, 8 points, 3 for 4 from the field, 7 boards. They're living with that. Thompson twin, 8 points, 3 for 7 from the field, 7 boards. They're living. There's only one other player in double digits. You know what I'm saying? The bench. Nobody else had over 8. You know? So I think Orlando will win the series because, you know who Detroit need? Detroit need like a Ant Simons. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need another creator. Their roster last year was better than this year, and they was number 1 this year, but they roster when they had Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, like that was a better roster. You know what I'm saying? I think Ant Simons over there in Detroit would be nice. If they can throw it in for Giannis, you know what I'm saying? They can make something work for Kawhi. Like, they need to go big splash. They need another piece that can create alongside K. You know what I mean? They got the complementary role players, but in the playoffs, they don't have anybody else. Like, K can give you 40, cool. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't enough to beat our team, though. And if we X you out, we living with anybody else beating us. Simple as that. You know what I mean? I think Orlando will win the series. And I think somebody from Detroit, more guys, it ain't going to just be one. It's going to have to be 2 or 3. Just going to have to step up and get some buckets alongside Cade. You know what I mean? Will it be Caris LeVert off the bench? Will Thompson twin finally, emerge more on the offense end? He's a defensive player of the year finalist candidate, so he's legit on the defense end, but will he emerge on the offense end? We will see, man. So I think Detroit, I think the Magic could beat Detroit. I think Philly has a chance. They can steal game 2. Maxey can move it around a little better on his drive because you run it through Maxey. You know what I mean? If you're going to go 5 straight possessions, just, make that extra pass more times than not out of those stretches. You see what I'm saying? Houston definitely need easy money back for sure, but gotta work on that half court. You know what I'm saying? Cause you got the personnel, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? So Lake Show, definitely lean on your defense because that's gonna win you the game, and you gonna need a different guy to step up alongside Bron each game. It might not be Luke Kennard's night game 2. It might be Rui Hachimura. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Smart might give you 6 threes, you know? So it's gonna have to be that for sure, man. House of Underdog talk, man. House of Underdog pod, man. Stay tuned.